Good morning, I'm Robbie Crispin, and this is Quick Court, the fastest way to justice. We're here today in the case between the Splendo Fun Carnival and Jimmy Lee Marcus. Jimmy is suing the Funfair for not letting him ride a roller coaster. Do you have anything to say about this, Mr. Squigglewiggles? Yeah, I do, said the clown. The brownie kids are making too much of a fuss about not being over 5 feet. Never in my years have I been sued for following a safety rule, the clown added. Jimmy, are you sure you want to go through with this? Asked Fred. You heard what Robbie said, replied Jimmy. They didn't let me on just because I'm short. Jimmy, that rule is to keep you from getting hurt. And think of the risks, he added. If you're putting up this much of a big deal over it, I have a feeling they won't let you ride on any rides anymore. And also, I'm afraid of clowns, he added. Oh goody, my lawyer's here. Now we can begin, laughed Mr. Squigglewiggles. Then please rise, began the bailiff. For the Honorable Judge Susan Triton. All right then, groaned the judge. Now let's keep moving. I still have 5 more cases to do today, so the case of Jimmy versus the scary clown people is now in session. The judge decided not to do the opening statements anymore, so Fred, call your first witness. I call Jimmy, declared Fred. Jimmy, began Fred, please explain your day at the carnival. Okay, well, as you know, every summer the carnival comes to town. And every year I ride all the rides except one. And the only reason I never rode that one is because you have to be at least 10 years old and at least 5 feet to ride it. I turned 10 in April. So I should have been able to go on, he continued. But just because I'm 4'10", I can't. Hold it, cried a voice. It was the guy from the newspaper. Now, seeing as I'm with the local newspaper, I should know one thing. Jimmy, he asked, have you ever ridden on another roller coaster with a height limit? I've ridden on roller coasters, but they've never had height limits before, replied Jimmy. Were they scary? He went on. No, stuttered Jimmy, but they were pretty small. And how big is this one? It's pretty big, Jimmy said. And have you ever been on one of those big ones? A good question, my good man, Jimmy stuttered. I've never been on one of those big roller coasters, but they can't be that scary, right? I'm sure there are tons of kids my age who ride on roller coasters like that and love them like that, you know? Actually, said Mr. Squigglewiggles, the riders on that ride are usually teenagers and adults. Even the 10-year-olds who do qualify are a little scared. Face it, Jimmy, we turned you back for your own good. No, screamed Jimmy, I'll prove it to you. Let's take the court back to the scene of the crime, and I'll show you how big that roller coaster is. And how not scary it is. Before long, the plaintiff, the defendant, and their lawyers were back at the Funfair. Well, chuckled Mr. Squigglewiggles. The chart says you've grown a bit since your last visit. Are you ready to ride the big ride, boy? He taunted. Bring it on, stammered Jimmy. Jimmy rode the roller coaster and screamed the whole way through. Jimmy came back feeling quite giddy. All right, sighed Jimmy, we'll settle. We'll drop the suit, he announced, as long as I never have to do that again. We'll tell the judge the good news, laughed the clowns. Jimmy, asked Fred, are you okay? Fred, sobbed Jimmy, the next time I don't listen to you, remind me to listen to you. Sure thing, buddy, grumbled Fred.